Serendipity in small business. Here's a story. You find a business you really like. You go through all the process of evaluating it. You put in an offer and you hear nothing, crickets. 6 months later, out of the blue, you get a call. You're still interested in that bakery, Rebecca? Yeah, okay, it's yours. So today we're going to be chatting with Rebecca Barnett, who took over the 154-year-old continuously running Maldon Bakery. And we're going to talk about how she got to buy the bakery, how she's going today with the bakery, and what she's learned along the way. So a very big welcome into the Owner to Owner podcast and studios here in Maldon, Rebecca.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for having me on.
Putting yourself back to that time when you saw the bakery, what did you see in this bakery? I'm presuming it was a little bit run down at the time, and you went ahead and bought it anyway. What did you see in the bakery?
I saw potential. I saw a diamond in the rough, and my creative juices kicked in, and I thought I could make something really good out of this particular bakery. I just checked it out, and I could see that it had a lot of untapped potential that I really could see I could leverage. It was clear as day for me.
Yeah. Had you been on a mission to buy a business particularly, or did this kind of find you?
Yeah, it sort of found me. I was at a point during COVID. I got retrenched from a really fantastic job at a university, and then I was found myself unemployed, having to provide for my 3 children. So I was actually doing some work as a trades assistant for a carpenter, local carpenter.
Oh, wow.
Post holes and making fences, trees and all that sort of stuff. So it was terrific. But part of my role was to go and get smoko for the team. And we were in Maldon that day, and there was went to the bakery, and there was a sign in the door saying business for sale. I thought, wow, it's I could do that because I've had businesses before, and sort of my family grew up in a bakery. I worked in a bakery. It was my first job when I was a kid, and I thought, wow, if it's a good price and it's a great location, tourist town, I thought, looking for something.
Yeah, so you were, and those signs in the windows worked. There's a lot of them around it, particularly if you drive around to the regions. On any given retail strip, there's usually a couple of them, for sale by owner. So it was a bit of a combination of things. You were in a situation where a business was potentially a long-term way to build a business, provide employment opportunities for yourself and look after the family. So but you did come from a family of bakers. So it's a bit of the serendipity is probably not a bad word, but all these things come together, and there you are in Maldon at Smoko.
Yes, I know. Yeah. I got to say the whole thing. Yeah. I knew, I've built up, I've started businesses before, hospitality businesses, built them up. But
so that was before. So you had a role at a university. So you started, bought and sold small businesses before.
Yeah.
So it wasn't entirely out of the blue for you to go looking for a business. And
no, I've got an entrepreneurial bent anyway. Yeah, I knew that I was looking for something because I didn't want to be a trade assistant. It was just a gap filler. I'm a hard worker, and it was a good gap filler, but I couldn't see myself doing this forever. I can just see potential in business, and I like creating something.
Yeah. But you must have brought some kind of a particular feel for a bakery then, given your family history?
Yes, yeah. So there are 5 generations of bakers in my family on my mother's side. And actually my first memories ever were in my nan and pop's bakehouse, because he had a Scotch oven, sitting on a flour sack, and just the smell of the bread and the, he's using the peel in the bakehouse. It was lovely. And so it's sort of in the blood, as it were. Even though I'm not a baker, I'm a baker as such, but sort of grew up vicariously learning stuff, I suppose, but what more so in cafes and restaurants. That's where I'm more experience.
Yeah, I think, because this, I'm deeply fascinated how opportunities come to people like this. And it's, I think there's a lot of knee-jerk decision-making. I've had a few people on the podcast that had a couple of wines, a couple of beers, and thought it'd be a good idea to, start something or buy something. But you had some form, as they say in racing, and so it wasn't entirely new. But yeah, the moment of seeing something in, the sign in the window is pretty cool. Your exposure to Maldon up until that time, what was your relationship or familiarity with Maldon, the town?
Well, my sister lived here at the time, so I was
Oh,
here
okay.
back and forth all the time. And I would just come here and go antique shopping and
Yeah.
have a look at all the shops.
Yeah.
I love the vibe of it. It's a beautiful town. It's very historic. It's a real draw card for the region.
Yeah.
It's an old gold mining town. So I was familiar with the town. And could see that there were throngs of people on the weekend. And my sister was saying what a fabulous community it is.
Yeah.
It's been really lovely actually immersing myself in the community and getting to know people.
Yeah. How long is it since you bought the bakery?
Just over 3 years now. Yeah. It's funny how time is a bit of a vortex when you start a business. It just gallops apace. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So can I just, like, the process you went through, it was for sale by the owner, or was it through a business broker?
Through an agent.
Yeah. How was that process? Was that, 6 months to not fundamentally hear something is, slightly, you must have had a lot of, decisions to make in that 6-month period about what else I should do. And were you thinking that it might come back around, or
No, I dismissed. I put in an offer. I didn't hear anything because actually they said no way.
They actually
said no way at first, and then I thought, oh well, that's it. Then I'll think of look for something else, and then mine was turning over. I'm thinking what else I could possibly do, and then they came out of the blue and said, actually, if the offer's still there, we'd like to take you up. That was that.
How long did it take you to go out and then sign the contract from that point?
About a couple of weeks, or maybe a week. I think it was pretty quick. I thought, oh, here we go. That'll be terrific. This is all the stars are aligning, and I thought it's a really good opportunity, and I'll just go for it.
That's outstanding. So at the time you had to give up being a TA. Then tell us about, there was a period of whatever it was, weeks or months before you actually came in as the owner. What was it like day one when you rocked up Monday morning at whatever time?
It was, I knew I had my work cut out for me. There was a lot to do. I really wanted to get it back to its original beauty and leverage all the intrinsic historic aspects of the space that I felt could have been celebrated more, because there was stuff that was there that didn't fit with the era. And because and I found out doing some research that it's the oldest continually running bakery in Australia. That wasn't actually celebrated. I thought this is a point of difference. It really should be celebrated. So I had basically no money at all to fit out the place.
So you were stretched. Whatever the offer was, that was stretching.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I didn't want to go into debt. I wanted to make it a win-win. So I just used what I could. So I used a lot of recycled stuff. I just got rid of all the old melamine benches and all the lino, etc., and then reveal these gorgeous old stones in the bakery shop. This gorgeous bluestone wall with the rough cut posts with the sort of encased the Scotch oven that had been covered over by a cool room for decades and decades. So I was just stripping it all back. These lights that were beautiful glass lights, I thought they were amber coloured, but they're just, and the Scotch oven, got the Scotch oven working as well.
Were these, you said they weren't foremost in the way the business was run. When you were buying the business, were they promoted as features or potential areas of potential for the business? Because 154-year-old continuously running bakery with a Scotch oven, there's not many of those around.
No, there's not. Well, there was a concerted effort from a syndicate of bakeries, big bread makers, factories basically, to try and destroy all the Scotch ovens. So they go around and actually demolish everything. So they had a monopoly over the bread production. So it's pretty rare now to come across Scotch ovens. They were a dime a dozen before. So
Yeah, that was big monopolies or wannabe monopolies. I mean, they took out hundreds of these
Yeah,
things. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it was
there's one in
colossal.
Trentham, still Redbeard, still
Yeah.
running. There's one in Dunkeld, but yeah, there's not many anymore.
No, and they're beautiful. There's nothing quite like, wood-fired bread. It's absolutely beautiful. But the thing is, it's hard to find bakers that actually have the skills and knowledge.
Yeah,
They certainly don't teach that in trade school anymore. So it is a dying art, and
yeah,
it's very, very rare to find bakers that have the skill to be able to work a Scotch oven.
yeah. But that's now a centerpiece, as is the 154 years history of the way you celebrate and run your business day to day.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. When I fitted it out, like I said, I had no money, no budget really. So I got my trades mates to help pay them, of course, but they, all pitched in and helped me demolish stuff and build walls and try and make the most of the space. So I actually used a lot of recycled materials, went to the salvage yard and got beautiful glass doors, and I opened up more retail space. So the footprint was bigger in the front house and also the back of house as well. I increased that capacity. So just by some clever reallocation of walls and opening things up, it was good. And I went to a secondhand dealer and found a fantastic old dough bin, which is a centerpiece of the bakery now.
Yeah.
It's the biggest one I've ever seen. And that's what they used to use to mix the dough in and let it rise, or the sourdough. And that's how they used to do bread in the old days. So that's historically apt equipment there.
So you have an eye for these things and an interest in finding authentic pieces or pieces that fit with that 154-year-old history. Yeah. I'm also interested in, on day one, did you take over some staff that were there, or did you bring a team or family?
Yeah, there was one staff member who'd been there since she was a teenager. So she'd been there for an awfully long time, about my age. So she'd always worked there, and she was a real asset to the business. So she came on board with me, but the bakers left. I got a new team of bakers in. That was a bit problematic as well, because from the get-go, I was struggling to find bakers, because the person who had agreed to come on board with me changed their mind, had another offer.
Had you had them lined up at the beginning thinking, and then, the period of 6 months went by, or was it after that?
It was after that, after
Okay.
I signed the lease. It was a real disaster, Michael, because I'm like I said before, I'm not a baker. So I signed the lease, committed to this, and my head was in the game going, right, this is what we're going to do. It's fantastic, all excited. And then all of a sudden I didn't have a baker. So I was thinking, oh my God, what have I done? How am I going to get through this? So I had to recruit bakers, and because I was unknown, it's a bit tricky.
I mean, they're, as you said earlier, the people to maintain a Scotch oven. I think yours is actually, the oven itself is more like 170 years old.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that was, apparently it's the first brick structure in Maldon, which is amazing. So I can imagine, there'd be thousands of miners there with all their canvas tents, lots of hubbub, and that is just like Wild West with the tents everywhere. The first bit of civilization to go up was the Scotch oven, and Mr. MacArthur Senior, who built the oven, would have made an absolute fortune from feeding all the thousands and thousands of miners that came there that needed some sustenance. So so he really struck gold with the Scotch oven.
The most recently, 3 years ago, was actually finding someone to run it though. So that was. Did you at any point have to bake, or?
Yeah.
So even though you weren't a baker, you're in this business. It's yours.
Yeah.
You got to be open tomorrow.
You just have to do
what you got to do.
Yeah. So I was very fortunate, because there are some fantastic bakers that live in Maldon and around. So Ken Hercott lives in Maldon, and he's a fantastic sourdough baker. And John Downs was just living down the road, not far from Maldon, and he's actually very famous. He had his television shows. He was the grandfather of sourdough. So he brought sourdough back into fashion in the 70s. And then he had a TV show. He's written many books about sourdough baking. He's extremely passionate and very knowledgeable about sourdough and
Wow.
the alchemy of sourdough. Because prior to that, in Australia, it was all tip top and sunny crust, and people didn't know what real bread was because the corporations had taken over, and so he sort of reintroduced sourdough, proper bread, into Melbourne and New South Wales, and yeah.
Did you know John and the other person, or did it just came about because you were the new proprietor of the bakery and they were interested in proper bread?
Yes, that's right. Well, let me see. Yeah, so Ken introduced himself, and I said, I need a baker, and he helped out. He really helped me a lot, and he said he reckons John might be interested. So John came on board, and I met John through Ken. John's been fantastic, and he's been a really good mentor for my crew of bakers. I've got an apprentice, and so he's been terrific in mentoring and teaching the old ways of doing things, and the smell and the feel and you can't learn these things in a textbook. You have to stand shoulder to shoulder with mentor and learn how to shape the bread, how it should feel and smell, and how long it's got to rise. And there's so many variables, the temperature in the room, etc., and the quality of the flour. So it's been fabulous for the business, and for training the next generation of bakers in how to actually do proper sourdough.
It is an art, isn't it? I think of craft beer, and not everyone's a fan of craft beer, but there was the same thing. Carlton United took over lots of local corner breweries, and you had 3 or 4 left, and we've had that explosion in the last 15 years, and but people really deeply care about their bread or their wine.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Did they also, because you had this very old Scotch oven, they were able to help getting the Scotch oven back to full capacity?
There wasn't needed to be done to it, actually. Before I opened the doors, I had a chimney sweep guy come in to have a look at it and look at the so John and Ken had a look at it as well. It hadn't been fired for many, many years. Right. So it was stone cold.
Cobwebs.
Yeah. So I got inside it when it was cold, of course, and had a look around just to check the mortar, and it all looked fine.
Wow.
Yeah. And the chimney sweep said that the mortar was actually in the chimney was pristine, because it burns so hot and so cleanly that it was in very good condition. Yeah, so that's actually the best bit of equipment that came with the business.
But there's only a small entrance on Scotch ovens, isn't there?
Yes,
yeah. So you had the. Yeah. How what's the specs? How deep?
16 feet deep by about 16 feet wide.
Yeah.
And the firebox is in the same chamber as the oven. So it's on the extreme end. So you just light the fire, and there's a big ash that just drops down. But because it's so narrow, it's only about that high. So between the base and the crown.
Yeah. And I think they take depending on the size, they take a while to heat up and a while to heat down, but that's once you get it to the right temperature, it's thing of beauty.
It is, yeah.
Pies and bread and
the great thermal mass has a Scotch oven, so it stays hot for a really long time, which is wonderful. Come in the middle of winter when it's freezing cold outside, and you just light the fire again, and it's just beautiful, toasty. You feel a bit smoke.
You can see why people do travel a distance for that kind of experience and that kind of produce bread. Whatever it be, it's or a pasty. I'm a huge fan of your pasties and spinach and cheese rolls.
Oh, thank you.
They're all weekly things. So if we roll forward a bit, I wanted. So you've gone in. You've had this experience where you're it. It's a challenge to find staff. You at some point brought in some family. I'll come to that a bit later. But what was the first sort of 12 months like? Were you thinking this is a good thing I've done, or perhaps not? How did you feel once you kind of got your feet on the ground?
Yeah, a bit of both. It was utter whiplash, I've got to say, Michael, because it grew. Well, the first couple of weeks got a bit of bit of resistance because I'd changed things around, but I got to reassure people that we were doing good quality things and change it for the better. And I had some fantastic customers that would come out and sit at the front on the footpath where the sun would come in, and that because of their support and their very visual support of me taking over the bakery, that sort of snowballed. So other people would go, "Oh yeah, we'll come and try the bakery." So that was really terrific, and that was great having that nod of approval from the locals that have been here for a very long time. Because the thing is, with the bakery, it's an institution, and it's highly regarded, and people have their own sense of ownership about the bakery. So you can't sort of mess around with that. Had some really great support from some locals, multi-generational locals that had thumbs of approval for me taking on the bakery, because they want it to succeed. Because if the bakery doesn't succeed, it's going to be a massive hole in the for the locals. It's a huge, very valuable amenity. So after the locals sort of came in, and then sort of snowballed, and then it was terrific. They were really happy that we had taken over. We were doing some really good stuff. The pies and pasties were really good, and it just continued to improve, because something that's intrinsic to me, how I operate is just a continuous improvement model, is how I can't not look for ways to continually improve. So that's what I was doing. And then
But that was a bit of find your feet for a while.
Yeah.
Take a bit of feedback.
Yeah. Oh,
see how
absolutely,
important
yeah.
it was for this institution you're the custodian of this really important local business.
Yes, that's right. And people were a little bit wary at first, but we won them over with excellent customer service and really good product, and then just keep them coming back all the time. But I've got to say, it got really busy really quickly and just kept building, and I was completely unprepared for the growth. And it's like I said, it was whiplash. I was imagining when I first bought the business that I could have time, to bake some cakes and grow stuff in the
garden
in the garden and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
All the time, employing people, making good money. But it's really busy. It's fantastic. We're getting a lot of people, not only the fantastic local support from the community, but also a lot of tourists coming as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a common challenge right across the place. Your business and other very strongly communal businesses, pubs and bakeries and news agencies, were in particularly in smaller towns, that this one sat idle basically for 6 months. And if you hadn't come along, it's a hell of a hole in the community if somebody else doesn't buy it. So there's been a few interviews I've done on this podcast about cooperative or mutual or community-owned businesses as a necessity in some cases if you're going to just retain that core business. So it's great to see. Yeah, never easy coming in and taking on something so high profile, but it sounds like you went about it the right way and found your feet. But it does go now to your comment on continuous improvement. Can you talk about that? Because in a business like that, the economics, you've got rent, labour, cost of goods sold, which are three really significant factors in determining how successful you are. So can you talk about the economics of a regional bakery and your approach to continuous improvement?
Yes. I've got to have something that I'm proud of. So I won't serve food that I wouldn't be proud to serve and to eat. My staff always have to have fantastic customer service. My imagination goes wild all the time. My mind is always working, and can't rest on my laurels. If I see something that needs tweaking, or I can see the potential for something, then I go for it and I try to improve it. So it meets what I can envisage. So in regards to continual improvement, I have had massive learning curve, because A, I'm not a baker. B, I have never run a business of this magnitude before. My wheelhouse, I'm really good at imagining things and creating business from scratch, from a concept. I've done that before. So that's what I'm good at. I'm not good at the numbers as such. And it's changed an awful lot since I had my previous business like 10 odd years ago in regards to, legislation and compliance and all the stuff with zero. And you feel like I'm not abreast of it all. So therefore I feel like I have to be expert in everything. So I've had to learn a lot, and I'm much more fluent in business.
In the numbers?
In numbers, yeah. And ratios and looking what I need to be ahead of. So that's been great.
Yeah, is it? And because I imagine it's a bit of a inner turmoil because you're a creator and an entrepreneur, and you want to deliver this outstanding product and outstanding service, but making sure it's done at a ratio or in a ratio that's financially sustainable is another level of learning, and for all of us as entrepreneurs.
Absolutely, because I can see the potential for growth all the time, and you've got the demand is there. The demand is there, and it keeps pushing you all the time to meet the demand. The growth is like this, but growth is scary because you're stepping out in your comfort zone all the time, and I'm stepping into voids that I really don't know. But in retrospect, I've just got myself a business manager now, which is fantastic, and it's such a relief because I'm outsourcing all the stuff that I'm not completely confident with to her, and that's great. I can, we can bounce ideas off each other. She can do all the stuff in zero, really crunch the numbers, and I'm aware that.
But that's another investment in growth as well, right?
Yes, yeah, and it is scary because sometimes you're thinking, the numbers just blow my mind, but you just got to keep ahead of it all the time and reinvest. Now, it's grown from at 4 employees. Now I've got 24.
Wow.
So it's full on.
Yeah, that's a big overhead every month.
Yeah.
And then so was appointing a business manager your first really significant, if you want to call it, investment in or operational change? Was that the biggest one you've made today? I
was looking for a business manager for a while. And I was at capacity really with having to deal with all the HR stuff, just because it's so important you get it right.
Yeah.
Because, you're looking after a raft of people and their livelihoods, and you've got to look after them, and you've got to make sure that you don't make mistakes. That was taking up an awfully lot of my time, and I just had to keep checking and double checking things so I got it right. So leaving it to someone else who knows how to do that, it's been terrific. As I made money, I invested into better equipment, better operational systems, and I've got really good data with the POS system, and that's linking nicely into, the accounting software. So I can track what we're selling, how much we're selling, how it's growing, etc.
Are you enjoying numbers a bit more now with all that stuff coming back at you?
I am. Yes, I am. And because I can see the growth, and I'm getting my head around all the ratios and benchmarks. So it's been really good to collaborate with the same industry people, so you can see what the benchmarks are, and that you're in the right wheelhouse, because otherwise if you're doing business, it feels like you're a bit of an island. So it's really good to be able to communicate with people in the same industry to compare benchmarking to see if you're on track.
Okay. So that's the BI, is it? The Baking
Industry Association of Australia. Yeah, there's other groups as well. There's a number of, and there's the NBIA as well. So there's two industry groups. But there's some other just business owners, bakery business owners that I've been collaborating with as well.
Yeah. I mean, when you're growing at that scale, you've gone from 4 to 24. It's extraordinary growth. And in 3 years, a lot of decision making. You're the sole owner. So I mean, it's a massive weight to bear. I mean, you've taken on this iconic 154-year-old business, and it's front and center in the retail part of Maldon. It's a big tourist drawer. So and then on top of that, you get to make all these fun investment decisions that
Yes.
you've bear the brunt of, or the upside of. So yeah, and employing a business manager. Have you, or would you ever have contemplated other support mentors or coaches? Is that been part of the way you've managed?
It's been pivotal. Yes, there's been some fantastic business people in the community that have given me fantastic advice and encouraged me along the way. So that's been really good. And I have had to ask, say,
Yeah.
what,
Put your hand up.
Absolutely, you got to put your hand up because, like I said, I'm good with some things, but other things not so much.
But just even being able to say that, acknowledge that everybody has a mix of skills. So to say I'm short here that's a big positive step to acknowledge that, and then say, somebody, can you help? The right person, can you help here?
Yes.
And I think generally if you ask the right people, and particularly people who have run businesses or have been exposed to businesses, they've got some pretty valuable insights, and it takes away some of that feeling of complete, it's all me, it's lonely, it's scary at times.
No, it's great. People are very generous with their knowledge and time, and often, there's some really great people that have been very helpful along the way.
Yeah. So you categorise Maldon, it's a small town, and it gets an influx of visitors for various great reasons. For you, you talked about coming in and feeling the weight of taking over this institutional business. Has there been any challenges in balancing how you run the bakery for the locals who are there every day versus the tourists that come in for town? Does that have any complexity for you?
Absolutely. It's unlike a lot of bakeries. We get usually on a monthly basis in Maldon. It's fantastic because it's such a tourist town, and the local Chamber of Commerce and other businesses have really nurtured this culture of running events. So we've got things like the Gothic Festival, the Maldon Folk Festival, the iconic Easter weekend. There's always swap
motorcycle runs.
Oh yeah, it attracts a lot of people. I'm talking like thousands of people in one go. So that's very difficult to manage staffing levels, stock levels to accommodate the need to feed these people and to serve them quickly and efficiently. We are very limited because it's such an old space, we're very limited with our facility. So very difficult to juggle manufacturing the food and storing it at bulk capacity to meet the needs of these events. Having said that, we've also now opened 7 days a week. I was open 5 days a week when I first started, but Maldon Bakery is almost like it's an amenity rather than just a business. It's an amenity for the town. If we weren't open, there would be very limited places for visitors to go to have something to eat and drink. So it's almost like
all the locals,
all the locals, exactly. Yeah. So it's like a social service. Even though we're a business, it's like a duty of care to be open so people have a place to go. So we're open all public holidays, every Sunday, etc., throughout the year.
Yeah, so going from 5 to 7, like that's a huge call. Yeah,
and there's complexity in that as well. I was paying the bakers to be there to prep anyway, and I thought there's so many people. It was great because it's like automatic impulse for customers to come to the bakery door, even though there's a big sign saying closed.
They can smell it.
They just want to come in for a pie, even though they're closed. I'm thinking it's a great opportunity to make money. I might as well just open the doors. And make money. Yeah.
Was it in some ways, like, just to keep it rolling? It sounds ridiculous, but I remember chatting to you about that when it was maybe 12 months ago that you went to 7 days, and
that's right. Yeah,
and in some respects it was in some ways a little easier because you just kept rolling rather than the whole shebang of stopping, particularly the ovens and things.
That's right. Yeah, and You got to feed the leaven every day as well. So there's a real
Yeah.
rhythm to the day, to the baking. You've got to keep the leaven fed and happy, and you've got to do this.
Does your leaven have a name?
No.
I was
No.
chatting to someone about my daughter
The
actually.
mother. It's called the mother.
Oh yeah,
leaven, yeah.
yeah, and they have it's a thing to have a name for them now.
Yes, yeah. My uncle and I've got family members in Crescent Head in New South Wales at Barnett's Bakery. So that's my Uncle Frankie and Auntie Ray. They started it, and then their son Adam runs it, and his son Lockie. So there's like intergenerational bakery there, and they've got the same living for decades now.
Wow. Yeah. It's whole character thing there.
Yes, yeah.
Collaborating with other businesses, there is you're open 7 days a week. You get floods of people in on a Saturday or Sunday for the hill climb or whatever event it might be. So does that require a little collaboration and with the other operators of businesses, particularly the
There should
retail?
be more collaboration. I feel there really should be more collaboration between the businesses, because the thing is, it's great for everyone if we all succeed, because it attracts more customers to the town, more foot traffic down the street, it's more appealing as a destination. So I've been collaborating with the lady from the Maldon Molly shop, and we've been doing we should do more of it actually, but we've been doing some Instagram posts and things like that.
Yeah.
Tag each other all the time.
Yeah.
Maldon Inc., which is the local
business association.
It's a terrific resource as well, and they've been great in helping the local business community band together. So at the moment, we've got a shop and win promotion that Maldon Inc. have come up with. So it's promoting shopping locally. So if that person buys $30 worth in one transaction, they go in the draw to win cash. So it's been terrific, and that's great.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so but perhaps some more of that would be good. What's the best part of that, notwithstanding that, but what's the best part of being in a smaller business community and community like this as one of the, running one of the key businesses? Community,
actually. I love getting to know everyone, and we all support each other. So a lot of the traders come to the bakery for their lunch.
Yeah.
And I should go more. I'm sort of stuck there serving people all the time. But it's a lovely simpatico relationship. We support each other because it's important that we all do very well, and we champion each other as well. Someone wins an award or they're doing really well. It's really good to hear. You want to support each other. You have won some awards, which we haven't talked about, but like this year, you've won quite a number of them. Yes, it's been terrific. Yeah, we did well. Win like the major gong, but we won some awards for our pasties, sausage rolls, and curry pies at Sydney at the Fine Food Fair. So I went up with Lindsay Calloway from Moral Maldon, who was entering his honey there. So it was to showcase food and to promote nationally and internationally food in Australia. And it's great. It's just a fine food fair. Yeah, well, that's another colour because you have all those honeys, Warrell honey through your shop. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we support local producers such as honey makers, and we use the local beef. At the moment, we're using Pyrenees beef, but we have used. They're a really good supplier. Used also Muckleford biodynamic beef farm as well. And I'd love to do more of that, but it's like I said before, it's storage capacity. So we're at the point where we need to look at how do we logistics. Yeah. Can I just swing it? I know we're running up to time, and I'm conscious of that. But if you've got a few more minutes, I'd love to just talk to you about family business. Yeah, it is a family business. So, what your 3 children work in the business? No, my two eldest children. My youngest one's still at school, and she's not. This doesn't interest her at all. But my eldest daughter Celia is like a HR manager, and she does all the rostering and looks after. She's sort of like my second in charge, and she does all the HR stuff. She's also duty manager. And she's looking after processes and procedures in the back of house in the pastry section. And my middle child, Ava, has just just today actually finished her apprenticeship, a baking apprenticeship. So it's her last day.
Oh, you have to go out and celebrate, yeah.
I know, yeah.
That is an awesome achievement. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful. That they're involved and that they're, right in the thick of it in this family business. How does that play into the longer term, if at all, for you?
Well, I've set it up so it's a family trust. So what that means is that there's buy-in if they choose. I'm not dictating life choices to them, but if they choose to, there is a really good opportunity here to help drive profitability in the business, because the distribution of profit will go to them as part of so they'll get their wage, of course, but they'll also get a share in profit. Yeah. So it's really good opportunity for them to take this as far as they want to go or not. Yeah. But it's there for them.
And getting incredible on the ground experience at a tender age, what it's like to be involved in a fast growing business.
I've got to say it's pretty fraught sometimes as well, because, it's expectations are high from everyone, and because it's a movable feast, as it were, and you've got, because they're family, it's a dynamic that it can be a bit tricky. However, I'm very proud of all of them, and we've all worked so hard, but that's also, we're building something together, which is really wonderful, and that's terrific. We're building something creative and that is of value to the community and to ourselves as a family, and whether that goes into the future, that's up to them, whatever they want to do. Yeah. But there's also comes a cost to family time, where you just talk about the bloody bakery all the time, which is great. However, I'd love to be able to go on holidays together with them.
And not talk about a bloody bakery.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's terrific, but it's all consuming. But I'm at that point now where, because I'm delegating more to people that are really capable and professional, I'm able to have more time with my family. Yeah.
It's any small business is a challenge, particularly so for when you throw in family dynamics. But it's also, it can be the strength of it as well, and it sounds like it is net. So, just a couple of questions to close, if I can. Somebody else is listening in, they're thinking about making a tree change or a sea change, and they're going to go buy a business. What's your best bit of advice, particularly for someone who may not have had much direct experience running or owning a business before?
You can't be expert at everything, but if you've got a really clear vision of what you want to do and your point of difference, leverage the hell out of your point of difference and create something beautiful, no matter what it is, something beautiful, and get experts in as soon as possible. Don't leave it 3 years like I did. Get experts in to help where you don't have strengths as such, so you can all pull in the same direction to get the business to where you want it to go. Yeah, if you've got passion and vision, just go for it.
Fantastic advice, Rebecca. Finally, let's say you didn't have to run the bakery tomorrow and you got headhunted to be the head of Australia's Federal Small Business Department. What are a couple of things you'd do if the day after, if you were up there in Canberra and you had the ability to make some changes?
Yeah, I would completely just go through the awards. It's far too complicated. You need a PhD in trying to, translate what the hell they're going on about. So many, different caveats and amendments and whatever to the awards. It's so easy to stuff it up, and you can't stuff it up. So awards are far too complex. There's not enough incentive for entrepreneurs to have a crack. It's much easier to sit on your laurels and to get a wage and just to live a beige life. But anyone with a little bit of spark and creativity and vision needs to be nurtured and encouraged and given opportunity to smooth the way, rather than put in unnecessary processes, because I find that there are too many processes that get in the way of progress, and that's so frustrating.
Look, I think I pick up on that. There's a lot of pathways into university and to careers and the pathway to small business. There's pathways into trades as well, but pathways just for being a small business owner and entrepreneur is, I think that's what, could be a lot more, incentives, training,
Yes,
support.
It seems to be a bit of a block. Anyone can open a shop, no problem. Opening a shop and then running a business is a different kettle of fish. And to go from, employing a small team to scaling up, the risks are really big, and there's not much incentive to do that. You've got to be really brave and really confident and have a lot of guts to do that. And we employ the majority of people in Australia, so we are looking after their capacity to, eat. Small
There's a lot
business.
riding on it.
Absolutely. So it should be encouraged and nurtured, not stymied by ridiculous hoops that you've got to jump through.
Yeah, I love it, especially because you've done it. Thanks so much, Rebecca. Really appreciate you taking time out to come in and have a chat on Owner to Owner podcast. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks very much, Michael. It was lovely.